Hello, this is an honors project concerning all the aspects of an FMD classroom. This project was assembled by Abby Leofsky, Maddie Phillips, and Catherine Devine. The FMD classroom we had the opportunity to observe was located at T.C. Cherry Elementary School in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and was taught by Miss Margie Clevenger. We will begin by discussing the general aspects of this particular classroom. In the FMD classroom, there are 4 autistic students, all of which are boys. There are 3 9-year-olds and 1 8-year-old. Those who led the students include 1 teacher and 2 aides. It was particularly interesting to learn that this classroom has been specifically developed for these students. While we were at the school, we observed a variety of resources that were utilized to accommodate the needs of the students, such as a smart board, acoustical accommodations, drapes over the lights, workstations, a sensory room, organizational skills, behavior management, and fun thematic bulletin boards, which showed that the classroom theme was campfire. The classroom included a main schedule board for all students, which gave a detailed summary of the day. In addition, each student had an individual schedule which was formatted through the use of picture cards to give visual support regarding the transitions made throughout the day.
Another accommodation that was made was the utilization of technology. The smartboard is one example of this. We noticed that the smartboard included child-friendly steps to allow students to more easily participate in smartboard activities. Another form of technology in this classroom were AAC devices, which included the iPad and a Big Mac button. Acoustics have the ability to improve the educational performance of students. Acoustical accommodations were implemented throughout this classroom. One implementation is the carpet that's placed on the tile flooring. This absorbed unwanted sounds that could be distracting to the students. Additionally, the layout of the materials within the room encouraged improved reverberation time and it decreased noisy disturbances.
Workstations are found throughout the classroom. These include areas dedicated to topics such as fine motor, writing, or reading. There are also stations meant for specific students within the classroom to learn in an individualized environment. These workstations include instructional picture cards.
One of the most unique aspects of the FMD classroom was the built-in sensory room. This room had many different components that benefit the students' direct sensory needs. We found this to be accommodating for all students with autism. Behavior management was shown through a bulletin board called Glowing Behavior. This board utilized a clip chart to help reinforce good behavior. The students' pictures are on the board, which helps make it more personal for them. Another bulletin board in the classroom displayed the students' work. This was important because it reinforced participation. Another interesting picture chart that was utilized outlined for the students where in their daily schedule they were currently located. This provides students the comfort of knowing what's going on and allows for routine building. It was also noticed that the teacher had the students' current objectives posted in the room. This was used to promote purposeful learning. A class helper's chart was also observed to be in the classroom. This chart gives students the responsibility and the ability to be leaders within the classroom.
When we were at the school, we got to see the students from the FMD classroom transition to specials with students from the general education classroom. Library took place from 9 to 9:30 a.m. During this time, students chose a book to read with their peer mentor. Peer mentors are in the 3rd grade in the general education environment. The environment seemed to lack structure and productivity as most students were not even reading. Art took place from 9:30 to 10 a.m. The setup of the room included U-shaped tables. During this time, the students watched a movie, however, it did not seem to be very beneficial to the FMD students, as these students were facing away from the television screen. Accommodations observed during this time included the use of cue cards and taking one child to the sensory room for a break. Speech took place from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The therapist started the session with a sensory input exercise. The exercise included pulling a wagon full of books down the hall. The session continued through the usage of a whiteboard to work on pragmatic language skills. For example, the therapist wrote, "I feel happy today." The child then had to write the same sentence on the other half of the whiteboard. After finishing our observations at TC Cherry Elementary School, we found some areas which had room for improvement. In the library, there could be more structure. At the time of our observation, the FMD aide was monitoring the general education students rather than just focusing on her own students. In addition, the librarian seemed to be yelling demands rather than approaching the students quietly. This created a distraction. As mentioned earlier in the art class, the seating arrangement should be modified to better meet the needs of the FMD students. In the speech room, the therapist should have utilized a bigger whiteboard to allow the student more room to write. Suggestions for the FMD classroom include providing general education teachers and staff with educational resources on how to accommodate for the FMD students in the regular classroom. Another suggestion is to make sure that the classroom rules and expectations are clear and posted. Lastly, including more rewards systems for the students needing the extra assistance and behaving properly would be a good suggestion. Overall, we are thoroughly impressed by the amount of effort and planning that was put into assembling the FMD classroom to best meet the students' needs.
This was a wonderful learning experience that allowed us to see firsthand what a typical day in the FMD classroom is like.
Not only were we able to see a typical FMD classroom environment, but we benefited from seeing these students within the mainstream. This inclusion was very encouraging to see.